welcome to my art channel called Artsy Furtsy Magic. My name is Kat Kinway. I do art and sometimes a story every single hump day. This week I will be painting on my workspace table that I normally use to paint and record and work and do all that fun stuff. I have a lot of marks all over my table. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't like to tape my canvases every single time. I figured might as well add some cat pizzazz. Cat pizzazz. That is what we'll be doing today. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. Why don't we just paint? Okay, so for the story time this week, I was thinking about doing the time I was roofied and my friend was roofied, but I'm gonna save that for next week and I'm gonna do a little comic strip to go with it, just so I feel like a comic strip to go with the commentary will go better. Because it's a story. But before we go into the main topic, I just wanted to explain why I'm painting this. Such a good question. Okay, so I was watching this Netflix show called Motel Makeover. Okay, I just read an article online and I guess they're getting a lot of backlash for not repeating safety guidelines during COVID. I mean, they said it once or twice in like one episode, but I guess they're getting a bunch of backlash for that. Anyways, my hubby and I binge watched it and the colors they use are very bold and vibrant. And I wanted to do something on my table with those colors and I came up with a vine because vines are cool on wooden tables. I don't care if I paint it on wood or not. Okay? For all you boomers out there. So the show is about how these two girls renovate this motel starting in January 2020, and their plan was to have everything open by summer of 2020. We all know now that that's probably going to be a COVID horror story, which it kind of basically is. Obviously, I'm not going to give any spoilers about what happens, but there is a scene where they talk about how excited they're going to be when it's post-COVID and people can really enjoy the motel and the space. When we saw that, we both looked at each other and we started evil laughing. Like, it was kind of embarrassing how bad we laughed. We were like, little do they know it's year 2, motherfucker. Okay, enough of this COVID talk. There's already too much of that in the news right now. So for this story this week, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of embarrassing for me just because I was really young and naive, and if that was me now, I would definitely have some red flags coming in the air, freaking darting at me, saying, what the fuck are you doing? But the past is the past, and we've all had terrible dates before. Now, for privacy purposes, we are going to name this gentleman Greg. The way that Greg and I met was very strange. I was very young, very, very young, like 16, working at a pizza place. I don't remember his specific age, but I know he was older than 23. I mean, 6 years is not a huge difference, but at the same time, I was only 16. I don't know. I'm imagining me being 25 right now and dating someone younger than 21 to me is disgusting. At the time, I thought any older man was attractive. Gosh, like, they are mature. They have their shit together. And he knew I was in high school. I told him I was in high school, so don't try to tell me that maybe he didn't know. Maybe I was lying to him because I wasn't. Anyways, he would come to my pizza place that I worked at. He left a really big tip for me, like over the amount that he would spend. I thought, I don't really know this man, but at least he was nice and gave me a nice tip, you know, maybe I did a good job. Later on that night, I get a friend request from Greg, and I asked him how he found me on Facebook, and he said he found my name on the pizza place, their Facebook page, because the employees are linked to it. Red flag, red motherfucking flag. And I ignored them. I ignored them because I thought he was a nice man. He gave me a good tip after all. So he asked me out on a date. I only went on one date with this guy, and we went to see a movie, and then we went to Steak and Shake afterwards. Let me explain what Greg
looks like, just so you can visualize a 360 view of Greg. He's about 5'9", has buzz cut hair, brown color, green eyes, very big eyes, bug eyes. Eyes that look like they're popping out of his head, kind of bug eyes. Average build, not the best looking, but good looking enough. Okay, so we're at the movies and it's super awkward. We're not talking about anything. We're just sitting in line, sitting in the chairs, waiting for the movie to start. To be honest, I don't even remember what the movie was. I just remember a lot of awkward eye contact from him and feeling very extremely uncomfortable. Then we went to Steak and Shake afterwards, and I always like to go to dinner after a movie on first dates just so you can talk about the movie and have something to talk about even if stuff is uncomfy. So that's basically what we talked about the whole time. All right, so after Steak and Shake, that's when it started getting a little creepy for me. Okay, so in small towns after a date, basically the normal thing to do is to sit in your car at the park and just talk. Oh, and we talked. More like he talked. He told me about how he wanted to have kids with me one day and how we were gonna get married. Y'all, I was 16. I did not even think about kids or marriage. Plus, that was our first date. Why would anyone talk about that on first dates? I used to be so nice too. If men would lean in for a kiss, I would just let it happen, get it over with, and then I would never talk to them again. Yeah, so that's what happened with him. We did have an awkward kiss at the end of the night. I'm just thinking the present Kat would not let that happen. First of all, I would never even have gone out on a date with this man. I probably would have been like, okay, bye, the second he would start talking about marriage and kids. It is what it is, and I've learned from that, and obviously I'm married now and have a good man in my life, so I ain't too concerned about it. I will mention that he did repeatedly text me multiple times after the date, like days afterwards, weeks afterwards, to try to hang out, and I just ignored him the entire time, and he never showed back up at the pizza place. So he wasn't that much of a stalker, but I was getting stalker vibes for sure. I don't know what Greg is doing now, but I hope he found that wife and those kids that he was longing for. Hopefully he didn't sucker a teenager into it, but yeah. I feel like all young girls just want to perceive the world as rainbows and butterflies and everyone's going to be nice to you because that's how the world is. But unfortunately, being a female is a completely different experience. Don't get me wrong, you know, there's probably females out there stalking men like that as well. However, I do believe that it happens more often to females. Almost all of my female friends have experienced to some degree of this kind of creepy behavior. I remember being 11 in a van with my twin sister and my mom going to a wedding in St. Louis. I started wearing training bras and so did my sister, and my mom basically told us we are starting to get at the age where we should be concerned. She started talking about how men can be very creepy to young women and how we need to, stay together, buddy up, and to not talk to any strangers, particularly older men. And we are going to a family wedding. How upsetting is it to tell your 11-year-old daughters that they have to watch out for being sexually harassed? At the time, obviously, I didn't take it seriously because I was 11, and you don't think about that when you're 11. It's a sad but true world out there, and that's just how it is, my friends. Anyways, this is the finished look of my table. I really love it. I can't wait to add more to it, and yeah. Welcome back! Thank you for watching my show. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel. Put a comment down below if you wanted to, have a discussion. Until then, I will see you next hump day. Thank you, magical babies. And like I always say, peace, love, and magic.
I love you like la la.